Welcome to Meet Me at the Wall. A podcast exploring author Anne Goodwin's time-traveling journey after discovering hundreds of letters written to her grandmother over a century ago. We visit the space where fact meets fiction, truth fosters imagination, and delve into the past while keeping an eye on how lessons from history affect us today and even tomorrow. Welcome back to the studio, Anne and Betsy.
Hey, guys.
Hey. And sitting across from me, now I always describe right and left, but sitting across from me, housed on my computer monitor, a spare monitor, is my cousin Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hi, you guys.
It's great to see you.
So happy to be here.
It's
Welcome.
Awesome.
Hey, Lori.
Lori's not just my cousin. She's my double first cousin, which is a really cool phenomenon. That's what happens when two sisters marry two brothers. So my mom and Lori's mom were twin sisters, and they married my dad and Uncle Bob.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Very cool.
So there's our genealogy lesson of the day, is what a double first cousin is. And later we're going to talk about a second cousin. We have a great example of a second cousin at the very end.
And Doug and I are the youngest in each of our families.
How could I forget that fact? The most important fact of all, we are both the youngest. That's right.
Doesn't that kind of give you the genetic makeup of siblings?
Close.
Yeah.
I feel like it. Yeah.
It's definitely close. And I think all of my siblings agree. Lori and her sister Linda, both very close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Lori's going to be with us for this whole session, but we'll have a little more prominent role later when we talk about some things that Lori has been doing with letters and creative writing too, which is great. All right, Anne, when you got here, you showed me this beautiful photo, which we'll have in the show notes, of course, of bundles of letters. What was that all about?
Bundles of letters. First of all, I'm going to distribute, because you are the cookie person.
Definitely.
So I'm not in any way overstepping your territory here. These are cookies, but I'm going to call them sort of like medicinal cookies.
Okay.
And Lori, I have a Lorna Doone virtually in my hand for you.
Oh, thank you.
This episode, I think it might touch a couple tender spots. And I always find a Lorna Doone cookie to be a really good quieter. So we're exploring something that I've learned along the way as a generality, is that life is tricky. And it's tricky for everyone. Life happens, and there's a big chance that tomorrow's not going to look like today. And we've all experienced that in different ways. I have spent the last few weeks visiting my uncle, Dick Kraffert, who's known as Dick. And we'll call this episode Meet Dick, because it's about his very important but brief life. He died at 19. He was my mother's brother. So these letters, the reason why I asked you to have a look at those is that is the pile of condolence letters that people wrote about Dick and the telegrams. And the sheer quantity of condolences that were shared taught me another thing about letter writing, is that in today's world, we are so prone to send a card, and the card says something, and then we sign it with thoughts and prayers and love. Mm-hmm. Each one of these letters told a story about Dick. So Betsy and I have held Dick's life in our hands in the office. We have every letter he wrote from when he went to camp as a young boy to the age 19, when his last letter was, "I'm alive and kicking." And we have these condolences. And so this brings us full circle back to letter writing. And the fact that these letters are written, I have been able to get to know my uncle. Mm-hmm. I've been able to see my family's grief. And I've never known my uncle because no one ever spoke of him back in the day. Mm-hmm. Grief just went forward. It didn't look back. So a little bit of a monologue here, but that's where we're starting, and that's why the Lorna Doones.
Well, thank you. That's beautiful. And ironically, Lorna Doones, of course, are a shortbread cookie, but without any coordination whatsoever, just to lighten this up a little bit, not too much, I happened to make for our cookies of the week orange cranberry shortbread cookies. So I think that's kind of crazy
so
that
fabulous.
You happened to bring this. I can't even imagine.
Back in the studio and the letters are doing the work.
Yeah, they seriously are. All right. Well, with that, we are going to, Anne's been very busy. I think thinking about Dick, looking through those letters somehow must have inspired you to get writing, because we've put no pressure on Anne this year to write. And now she's cranking out the sketches. So the good news for our listeners is that we have not one, not two, but 3 sketches from Anne this week. So we're going to have our typical back-to-back-to-back sketches here. Would you like to read them for us?
Sure, I'll do a little preface. So as I mentioned, the letters and the condolence letters allowed me to get to know my uncle a little bit, who I really didn't know anything about, except for the fact I knew he was brilliant, a physicist. I knew he was an athlete. I knew he flew airplanes, all this at 19. I got a picture of him, and then I also got a little picture of my mother's relationship with her brother. She was 22 and a senior in college when he died. And I never heard her speak of him, hardly. And then finally, it's a glimpse into my grandparents with this event. Alive and Kickin', Alpha Tau Omega House, Cornell University, January 1947. Hey guys, it's great to see ya. It's swell we got back here before the ice storm. Dick crosses his bedroom floor, drops his satchel, and plops down on his bed. Did you have a good break? He asks his roommates, Harry and Chan. Harry shrugs. It was good, but too long. I'm happy to be back. Chan tosses a wadded up piece of paper, aims for the wastebasket across the room, nails it, and stands up. I'm happy to be back with my Taos. Do you know if the dining room is serving tonight? Later, as the 3 young men seat themselves at the dining table, Chan asks Dick, Did you get next term figured out? You were in a hot mess before you left. Dick nods. Yeah, finally. I was able to get out of Latin. Since I ranked in the 98th percentile in physics nationally, I'm getting a little more leeway. I'm in physics, calc, mechanics, drawing, materials, and economics. I'm good when my hands are figuring out things out as well as my brain. I don't care if I ever see another English language class. After wadding up his napkin and giving it a toss into the basket at the door, he continues, That's 1-to-1, Chan. I wish they had the welding program they had at Old Hill, though, except for that explosion taking out my eyebrows and eyelashes. I was pretty keen on it. Well, you look good now, Harry starts crumbling a wad. Are you free tonight to grab Jean Miller and go out on a double date? Nah, sorry, Dick shakes his head. Professor Feynman invited me to the Oppenheimer lecture series for juniors and seniors that starts tonight. So since it's a special ask, I should go. It's all about the atomic bomb and stuff, and even though old Oppie talks way over my head, I guess I'll learn something that sticks. Well, make sure the Russians don't find out it sticks. I hear they're in a mad race to get their own bomb. They might take you out. Harry tosses his wad, sinks it, and says, Game on, 1-to-1-to-1. Let's go, Chan. Back in the room, Dick walks over to his desk, picks up a snapshot of Jean. Did I mention I'm switching from swimming to crew? Hopefully I have the body for it, and the pool is nasty. He sets the photo down. Maybe the girls will come down to the river and cheer us on. He sits down at his desk and pulls out a sheet of his fraternity letterhead. I need to check in with my parents so I can get my wallet reloaded. Dick shares out loud as he begins to write, Dear folks, just wanted to let you know I'm back at school and alive and kicking. Brotherly Love, Bryn Mawr College, January 1947. Hey, Flip Flop. John and I are considering gracing you with our presence this weekend. What do you have going on? Well, Nancy pauses, nods at her roommate Patsy while mouthing, "It's Dick. If you decide to come, there are 2 requirements. First, you'll have to dress up as an atom to join us for Winter Carnival. And second, I need your help in the lab Saturday as I work on my final synthesis." "Swell, we're in. I'll let you know what time we're leaving Haverford. You bring the girls, and we'll meet at the Hamburger Hearth before we check in at the Deanery. Deal?" "Deal." Nancy hangs up the phone, turns towards Patsy. "Thank goodness Dick is coming. I might see through the tunnel in my lab work yet. I should never have picked chemistry. It's amazing that dear Frank will be seen with me, considering my nails are always black from the silver nitrate. My hair smells like hydrogen sulfide. Ugh." "Well, good thing he's a surgeon. He's used to chemical compounds." Patsy starts nudging Nancy out the door. "Now that I see you, I'm not going to call you Flip-Flop anymore. You're Daisy May from Little Abner. What did you do to your hair?" Dick squints at Nance over his glasses. "I cut it, and all of a sudden all these curls sprang up. I want a new me for graduation, and I'm starting with my hair. Hand me that beaker over there, and I'll teach you how to brew tea here before we get started on my work." Hours later, as they walk in the dark toward the Deanery, the guest house bright lights leading their way, Nancy clasps her brother's arm. "Thanks for your help today. It's so great that you are here. I feel like the cat's pajamas right now. Frank is wonderful. His family is wonderful, although his mother doesn't speak a word of English. I'm a little nervous about everyone gathering at graduation." Can you imagine Mother making small talk in Italian? I wonder what the word for Fleur is. She ponders a moment and continues. "It's a good thing Frank's siblings are all doctors or married to doctors, in case anyone goes into shock over our union." Dick smiles, places his hand over Nancy's on his arm as he guides them forward. "Fiore, that's the word for Fleur in Italian. Benj and Fiore, that's how you introduce mother and father. Speaking of your graduation, I'm thinking of bringing a +1. Just not sure which one is the one, though. I'm keen on Dana, but then Jean and I spend a lot of time together, and Leslie still pops up. What do you think?" Nancy responds, "Make it easy on yourself and bring Bill Eldred. Benj and Fiora would love seeing him now that he's finally situated after the war." "Oh, Dick, it's going to be the happiest of times. I can't wait until May." Postscript. Bryn Mawr College, February 24th, 1947. Nancy stares at the ceiling, contemplating her evening plans as she stirs from a late afternoon nap. She startles at a tap on the door. "Nancy, I was just in the lobby, and you have some visitors from Titusville." Her roommate Elaine saunters in. Nancy rises and grabs her slacks and blouse and slides into her moccasins. She looks in the mirror, splashes some water on her face, and runs her fingers through her mass of curls. She enters the stairway and descends down to the lobby, pondering each step who could be visiting unannounced. She enters the side living room and is pleased to see her sweet Aunt Mimi with her Uncle Joe towering next to her. "Aunt Mimi, Uncle Joe, what a wonderful surprise." Her smile starts to quickly fade as she looks closely at Mimi and sees tears welling in her eyes. Joe holds on to Mimi as Mimi reaches for Nancy's arm. "Come, dear, and sit down with us. We have the most dreadful news to share with you about Dick." Secret in the Attic. Prelude. 23 February, 1947. Fighting a fresh wave of fever-fueled dizziness, Florence reaches to remove the thermometer from Ben's mouth. "Oh, dear Benj," she exclaims. "We are both in such a terrible state, and I'm sorry, but I can't do a thing for you." She edges along his bed and reaches across for her own, holding onto the bedstand between them, and crawls in. "Good night, dear. Hopefully in the morning we'll find ourselves much better and able to manage something at least." Florence jolts awake to the surprising ring of the telephone in her ear. What in the world? Who would be calling us at 7 a.m.? She picks up the phone off the stand and says a bit peeved, "Hello?" and hears a male voice begin talking. "Mrs. Kraffert, it's Frank Baldwin from the Office of Counselor Services at Cornell. I'm sorry to wake you. Is Mr. Kraffert with you?" Yes, he's right here. What on earth? Benj, wake up. It's Cornell on the line. Is Dick sick, Mr. Baldwin? No, Mr. and Mrs. Kraffert, I need you both to be sitting down. It is with the deepest regret that I call to inform you that Dick was found dead in his bed this morning. 23 February 1948, 1 year later. Fleur, darling, I'm headed up to Joe's to help him with his carburetor. Is there anything I can do for you? Florence rolls over from her bed, barely moving the linens that consume her, and replies, No, Benj, there's nothing I need. After Florence hears the clang of the garage door close in the back alley behind their house, she begins to stir. She looks at her breakfast tray with her signature toast and marmalade and pours herself some coffee out of the porcelain pot. She takes one sip, grimaces, and reaches for her robe. Stepping into her slippers, she shuffles to the doorway and makes her way to Dick's room and opens the closed door. She stops, overwhelmed by the lingering physical sense of Dick's presence, closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. She opens the closet door, reaches for the Alpha Tau Omega scarf and leather jacket hanging there, wraps the scarf around her neck, and dons the jacket around her shoulders. As she exits the room, she grabs Dick's pillow and quilt from his bed. Instead of going down the flight of stairs in the 3-story home, she starts up the quarter oak staircase, turns at the landing with the built-in chests, and continues to the 3rd floor. It once housed the governess and kitchen help, but is now mainly used for storage of odds and ends furniture, boxes from the Westgate family home, and miscellaneous memorabilia. And of course, Ben's billiard room, which continually holds the mixed scent of cigars and pipe tobacco. She walks over to the armoire in the center hall and drops her pillow and blanket. She opens up the doors to the chests, which once provided hanging space and drawers for her mother's wardrobe, and slides the top wooden drawer open. She reaches for one of many bundles of letters, each tied with assorted ribbons and strings. She drops on her blanket, reaches to untie one bundle, and opens the top letter. Dear Mother, Grandmother Minnie was here to lunch. Her eyes start to swell. She clutches the paper gently to her chest, sinks down further, plunges her face in the pillow, inhaling deeply for any last scent of her precious boy, and quietly begins to weep. Moments, minutes, maybe hours later, she hears footsteps on the 2nd floor. Flo, darling, where are you? It's her sister Marion, Mimi, who has let herself in. Florence sits up, tidies her nest, removes the scarf and jacket, and sets them on top of the bedding. Coming, Mimi, she calls out as she wipes her tears with her handkerchief. I'm up here airing out the billiards room. I'll be right down.
That was beautiful, Anne. Thank you. I have to ask, how did you get in the mindset to write each of those sketches?
It was through the letters.
Through the letters, yeah.
I learned so much. Yeah. Everything that I imagined was sparked by something that was in one of the letters.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to cry.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know, was that the way that your mom found out that her aunt came?
I imagined that.
Okay. Fact or fiction, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think we'll do fact or historical fiction today. I don't.
There's way too much fact.
Yeah.
There's way too much fact. I imagine that because my grandparents, as you heard, were very ill in North Carolina. When they got the phone call, my grandfather was not able to travel. And I would figure that no one wanted Nancy to hear that news over the telephone. And I realized it was a 5-hour drive from where my great aunt was to where my mother was, and decided that might have been what happened.
And not that it matters, but do they know how he died?
Lori, that is the question that it was so deafening for our family. Was 3 autopsies later, no reason for death was discovered.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Wow.
That was the hard part, which I think is what closed everybody up.
Yeah.
There was no resolution.
No. So they shut down. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Betsy and I have been on a mission. We would like to see those autopsy reports because we wonder if in today's reading they might shed something.
Oh, I bet so, Anne. Yeah.
It's a really interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're not having much luck.
Is
yet.
it hard to find them? I mean, do you know who should have them?
Well, I hadn't had a chance to ask you. We wrote to Cornell, no response.
Maybe
yet.
now they could be listening.
Yes.
If anybody knows how to get an autopsy report back from 1947, or 3 of them,
Right.
literally. Yeah.
I do have a lot of just general questions. When I think of the armoire, this is how this whole thing, this podcast began, was an armoire where these letters were housed. Is that where it was in the house?
Yeah, so we're full circle here. Because Lori, I don't know if you remember, we mentioned in a podcast earlier that as a young girl, I went up to this armoire on the 3rd floor of my grandparents' house, and I would read these letters, and one letter was so beautifully written, it made me almost feel good that Dick had passed. It couldn't have been more soothing. And that's what made me decide I needed to keep all these letters, as my mom was a tosser and she was going through the house. And I just took all those letters and said, there's just too much. And then I realized, truly, those letters had been sitting in the armoire for over 50 years. And that was my grandmother's place to go visit her grief.
Oh, absolutely.
That was her spot.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense, Anne. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that's how Secrets in the Attic really came to be, the sketch.
Wow. I know Doug and Anne know that we lost our daughter, Jessica. I don't know, Betsy, if you know.
Yes, I
but
do.
I'm visualizing now all of our condolence letters are up in Jessica's closet in a box. And when I do read through them, people did write memories. And that's more valuable than my thoughts and prayers are with you. So I really related to that, Anne.
Thank you for sharing that. And I cannot imagine how important that box is to you.
Oh,
but then did I hear you did something?
Well, that was with a different container of notes that we unearthed in our daughter's closet after she died.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. So those were notes that she had received from all of her friends, grade school, middle school, and some of high school. And that she kept these really spoke to us that we were not to throw these out. So when she passed, which was in 2003, her and her 2 girlfriends, all 3 were in a car accident and all 3 perished. We decided to hold onto those notes. It was too raw, too fresh to go through them at the time. But in 2023, I went through them. So many years later. And then I sent them to their rightful owners.
To the senders.
Yeah.
Of who wrote them. And it was about 5 of Jessica's friends.
What sparked you to do that?
You know, maybe I can read some of this. This is the letter that I attached to the notes when I sent them to the girls. I said, when we came across them, we tucked them in a plastic bin for safekeeping, knowing that someday reading them would feed our soul and fill our yearning to connect with that age of Jessica's being. The notes are a connection to part of her life, a very important time in your and hers growing up days, filled with all the uncertainties that you can feel and experience that we all have while growing up. I remember years ago, I began to unfold and sift through these treasures. I only made it through 10 notes. and then neatly tucked them back away until I was moved to go through them today. And this was December 2nd, 2023, alone, but with a busy mind and a full heart. I have such an array of emotions, smiles, laughter, insight, understanding, and tears. Please pour over these notes words that you exchanged with our daughter, and remember those times that were formative, precious exchanges between friends that truly loved each other. We've enclosed a few pictures of Jessica. If you share these tangible notes, full of memories with anyone, perhaps your daughter or son, a friend, your spouse or partner, you can attach a face of who Jessica was and a deeper understanding of you and hers relationship, your friendship, or as many of you wrote, your BFF. So I just really felt called that these needed to go back to these girls.
That's so beautiful. They will keep Jessica alive in that.
In those memories.
In that hard copy, which we constantly talk about on this journey that we're on. I think about if Jessica or Dick would have passed in 2023, it would all be electronic. It would be texts. They wouldn't have been writing notes to each other. I don't know if kids are writing notes to each other anymore.
I don't think so.
But you have that beautiful hard copy to look at again and again, and handwriting of the person it's such a gift you gave back to them.
Thank you. And then we had the opportunity. They all came over to our house because there was going to be a class reunion. And so got to speak with them one-on-one. And yeah, it was pretty powerful. So interesting.
There's actually, I know Lori pretty darn well, and she loves to record interactions, whether it be video or audio or what have you. And so Lori actually did an audio recording of that meeting. And there's one in particular that I think we want to listen to here real quick, and I'll just play it, from a woman named Allison.
Hello, Lori's phone. This is Allie Taffel. I go by Allison now. It's weird. The thing I was going to say to Lori was, it was fun reading. It was such a time capsule reading them that I don't think I otherwise would have had. I obviously didn't have the other side. I didn't have Jess's notes to me because they were given to me and I probably threw them away or as I moved. And so it was like cool to have these little stories. And it really brought me back to like the girl that I was. And I think we tend to not think, at least me, like I don't think about young me very much because there's so much. Being a teenage girl is so hard. And to like remember like, oh my God, inside jokes that I was like, I don't even know what that joke is, but apparently it was really funny because it was written in like 5. I called her Sprinkles. I didn't know that. I didn't remember that. But also I'm now a writer. That's what I do for a living. And to see that was started with writing notes to my girlfriend, like that I didn't know then what I'd become now. Huge reason I flew back for this reunion. I never thought I'd go to my 20th high school reunion. Sorry. I was like, I'm out. But I had a moment reading those notes, thinking of the other girls that I was friends with Jess, and really wanting to know what we all did with our one precious, beautiful life. Because she had a precious, beautiful life that really, I think, really influenced us, as well as her passing really influenced us. And really, I know for a fact, I couldn't tell you pinpoint why, but I know for a fact, like a lot of who I am today is because of who I was when I was young and because of the girls who were around me when I was young. And she was a very special girl. So that's Allison signing out.
I just thought that was beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was standing in our kitchen.
Yeah.
We were standing in a circle, all of us girls, and they were just pouring their hearts out. It was quite a day.
Lori, I have a question. Did any of her friends have the notes that she wrote to them that they could share with you?
So I actually have a few of them, and I told them, I don't know why I have these. I don't know if they ever got to you, and I'm being a little selfish, but I don't want to let them go.
Right.
Because it's her handwriting and it's her verbiage. So I've held tight to those. But yeah, there are some.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're constantly looking for letters that my grandmother wrote to people, since we have every letter ever written to her. And so we lack that side of the story. And so we're always in search of, and how for you to have her handwriting in your hand and her thoughts and notes in your hand it's beautiful.
Well, we do have some of the letters she wrote to Ben, of course, right? So
we do.
Yeah, which is
yes,
how that voice is so remarkably.
We sprinkled them along the way. We have some.
We have some, but not what we would love. Lori, thank you for sharing such a personal and beautiful story.
You're welcome.
And I had not heard those sketches, so I think I heard one of them, but not the other two yet. So when I think of brotherly love, I loved that one. That was really interesting to me, just the interaction between Dick and Nancy. There was a lot of fun little details, dressing up as an Adam, introducing to your future in-laws, all these things, the girls that Dick may have brought. Oh, I forget their names, Dana, Jen, and Leslie, or something like that. Were those all little facts you pulled?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I saw a description of an event at Bryn Mawr where everyone dressed up as Adams. and it just so well fit into the Oppenheimer lecture. It's like, how could we not have them dress up as Adams, since they were? Let's see, what else? What did you else?
I think Nancy was dating Frank.
Oh, yes. And so my mother chose to marry my father, Frank, who was a full-blooded Italian who came over when he was 17. Or his mother came over. He was born here. So the meeting between the Pennsylvania, Titusville people and the Italians from the Bronx was a really interesting affair. And that's how I pictured it. And I'm not sure I'm saying the word for flower in Italian correctly. My son, who majored in Italian, isn't available to me right now. He's traveling.
If only.
Fiore. Fiore.
I hadn't heard brotherly love yet either. And so I was very much surprised by Nancy's entrance into our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I have to thank a really close and good friend whose family, I often will read her what I've written. My friend Lynn, she knows my family well. And I read her Alive and Kickin', and I read her A Secret in the Attic, and she said, "Where's Nancy?" And I realized I have so many letters that my mom wrote that I have danced around. I probably read them once 5 years ago, but it's a little too close to me, my mom. It's like I can do this with my grandparents, but my mom, it's and so to get inside her voice through her letters is a whole new experience.
Okay. Now, for the audience, we're recording this in the depths of winter. And I'm really curious, Anne, because you wrote these recently. I'm hoping you weren't trying to swim somewhere.
No, but I float in my bathtub.
Oh, you float, and then you can think. Okay, good. I knew there must be some trick.
Lori, for some reason, water inspires me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Now, the ocean inspires me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or the lakefront.
Yeah, I'm a fresh lake girl, and then I have a floating. There's these little pillows you can have in your tub, and you can have 100% float in your bathtub. So I do that.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great.
Maybe they could be our sponsor.
I have one more question. In the first sketch, Alive and Kickin', you talk about Oppenheimer. I think we've hinted at this, but I'd love to hear from you two the story, behind the story, potentially, maybe, we don't know, but it's interesting to think about with respect to Dick's death.
So somewhere in my memory, in the history of all of this, I don't know if someone wrote my grandmother this. I remember this as a young girl. This was right after World War II, and the atom bomb had just been developed. And Oppenheimer came to speak to Cornell, and Dick was in the audience listening to him. Dick also, as I mentioned, 98th percentile in physics. He was an electrical engineer. He was a pilot, and he was an athlete. And there was a rumor going around that the Russians, in the race of developing the atomic bomb, took out some of our brightest and best, which could be the reason why there is no explanation of death.
Oh my goodness, Anne.
It's probably called a conspiracy today, but...
Yeah, a conspiracy theory, yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
So it just... I wonder if there were poisons that they used back then that now would be traceable, or, it could be SIDS, sudden, adult death and infant death. But that was one thing I remember growing up, that little thought in the back of my head that Dick might have been removed on purpose.
Betsy, have you investigated this at all?
A little bit. Yeah. Cornell provided in the numbers of the 30s in terms of number of scientists who worked on the Manhattan Project and worked with Oppenheimer. And some of the professors that were in the physics department when Dick was there were people who worked on this. He was in his second year there. I don't know. The primary name that comes up is Hans Bethe, I believe is his last name. I don't know if it's in his second year he would have had him yet or not, but he was certainly in the seed of development for this technology at that time. And he was certainly among the up-and-coming scientists who would be continuing the work that they developed.
I remember some time ago researching unexplained deaths in that time period, and there were like 120 unexplained deaths. That was unusual, and I haven't gone down that rabbit hole anymore with you, but maybe we could.
Yeah, maybe we could. Can I just add a little tidbit about Oppenheimer? It's just been so emotional, and this is just so scientific, but I thought it was kind of interesting nonetheless. Because we know that Dick listened to an Oppenheimer lecture. We know that Hans Bethe was in the physics department at Cornell. And I thought it was interesting that there came a time when Oppenheimer was being criticized for and suspected of intentionally slowing the work of developing this technology. And there was actually, there was a secret hearing to remove his security clearance at one point, I believe in the early 50s. Anyway, Hans Bethe spoke at the hearing on Oppenheimer's behalf and in Oppenheimer's favor, that he was a good man and wasn't trying to slow things down.
I think, wasn't that in the movie?
It was.
You see it? Yes.
Yeah.
That's an excellent movie if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
I've not seen it yet.
It is very good.
To do that, yeah.
And on a lighter note, so we just went sailing with our friends in St. John, Virgin Islands, and we sailed right by where Oppenheimer would flee to after all of this took place. Yeah.
Wow.
I just sent you the picture of, and his house is the lower one on the shore.
Wow. Right on the shore, yeah.
Yeah.
The time is so amazing when you think about this happening post-World War II and college students dressing up as atoms.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all new territory.
Yeah.
And, Thank you for sharing that, Betsy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, Anne, you've talked about all these beautiful condolence letters, and this picture there's a lot of them. Did you bring any to share with us?
I did. And Doug, would you like to read a condolence letter from Harry Bungay? He was a roommate of Dick's.
You gave me some nice, easy handwriting. Thank you. Alpha Tau Omega, Harry Bungay, February 25th, 1947. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Kraffert, I would like to extend to you my most heartfelt sympathies at this time. After rooming with Dick last fall and double dating with him once in Syracuse, I came to know and like him well. My mother and father met him, and Dick impressed them, as he did us, his fraternity brothers, as a sincere, well-mannered, well-brought-up fellow. Dick commanded respect with his intelligence. Even though he spent much of his time helping others with their studies, he did very well in his own courses. His personality and quiet reserve enabled him to hold his own in any company. I know that all who met Dick liked him. Personally, I miss Dick because he was a good fraternity brother, a swell person, and a close friend. With dearest feelings, Harry Bungay. That is very, very sweet.
I also have the last letter that Dick wrote saying that he was alive and kicking.
Oh, you do? Okay. See how his handwriting is. So this is the last letter that Dick wrote to his parents.
Yes, and this kind of gives a glimpse of who he was as a student as well.
It's on a really cool Cornell letterhead. We may want to take a picture and just share this.
Sure.
Because it's very simple, but very cool. Dear family, just a letter to let you know I am still alive and kicking. I have not done anything this week worth telling about. I went skating Sunday night just after I got back. I was very surprised at how I had forgotten how to skate. I don't know exactly what my final marks will be, but I think they will be something like this. Physics 85, calculus 80, mechanics 90, drawing 80, materials 80, economics 75. My course for next term is going to include electrical engineering, theory, optics, fluid mechanics, engineering math, strength of materials, and accounting. I was talking to my advisor, and I think that it would be a good idea to specialize in administrative engineering because I definitely don't want to enter into research work. This still means that I will receive my degree in electrical engineering, but instead of specializing, say, in electronics or power, I am specializing in administration. Do you think that this is a good idea? I hope this letter reaches you before you leave for SP. Love, Dick.
That gives you the idea where I got the idea from the coursework.
Yeah, the coursework, just a very normal letter. And as you said at the beginning, Anne, life is one thing, one moment, and then it's very different the next.
And what a gift that was for him to give them, unknowing that that would be his last one.
Right.
But they have it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just think that it is, for me personally, I'm so grateful that my grandmother kept all of this for us to have this moment today, because it has enhanced my gratitude for the right now. Like,
yes.
I am just really happy for this moment and realize how precious it is as we go forward. So lots of little pearls of wisdom.
Because all of these characters who really did live, they continue to live on. You know, you're telling their story. It's beautiful.
And now this podcast is part of the cloud, which may last or may not. But
are we going to have to transcribe it and put it in an armoire?
There you go, to make sure it's accessible in 100 years.
Lori, what are you writing about these days?
Well, I started a book entitled Postcards. And I did that a very long time ago, actually, before Jessica's passing. And I was in Walnut, Iowa on a girls' trip. We went into many antique stores, and I was just taken by the postcards. And not just the postcards, but the older ones that you would flip over, and there were writings on them. Mm-hmm. And so I began just having a sense about me that I really wanted to know more about those words on that postcard. Where did they come from? What did this mean? As an example, the one says on the back of it, "Dear honey, why don't you ever come back to see me? Your pal Grace." In the upper right-hand corner was a 1-cent stamp, another sign of yesteryears. My mind was swept away to daydream for a while, and I played with different scenarios in my mind. Had May turned ill and Grace was unaware, or were there hard feelings? words gone unsaid, or maybe too many words said. The writing was elegant, but bold in stature. It was yearning for an answer, a response. I played it out in my mind, turning the card over time and time again, like a child yearning for a response from a sleeping puppy. I wanted to know. And then I just went into my version of that story. I started it with, it was a hot, scorching day. Grace had been doing what she did every day, the same routine, up before daylight, stoking the fire, preparing another meal. Nurturing was her lot in life for now. Nurturing sometimes through food, other times a gentle touch, or providing fresh, clean pieces of clothing for the family. As she thought about the day ahead, she was hopeful that her trip to town would prove successful. She greatly anticipated the journey, unaware it would change her life forever.
Ooh.
So what was on the front of what picture was on the postcard?
Let's see. As I stood in that antique store, my fingers caressed each card in that box. One by one, I could not get enough. The friends I had traveled there with went on to other shops, not me. I was being held captive, a willing prisoner, being allured by notes of the past. The first kidnapper was an elegant bundle of violets, scrumptious hues of purple with a poem. I tried to pen a greeting, to pledge a friendship true, but the violet is more eloquent. Let it confide my thoughts to you.
Wow. Beautiful.
And then on the back side, it was addressed to May Nikens in Avon, South Dakota. And it was from Grace.
And what year was this in?
This one is 1909.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that is really interesting, Lori. This is something, did you know other people doing this kind of creative writing?
No. There's the
so beautiful. We have stuff similar to that, Betsy, in the office.
I bet you do.
And then there's the back. Actually, Allie has begun doing this now, she said.
Oh, the woman we heard.
Who's now Allison.
Yeah, who's now Allison, right.
Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Allison, yeah.
The writer.
Yeah.
So she does this too. That's great.
So she has started to collect the postcards. Mm-hmm. She's not writing yet, but she's collected the postcards. Cool. It's just each one is so exciting to me because what could that story be? What really was going on in that person's life?
Talk about word economy. Postcard demands word economy, and you can convey so much in so little.
Absolutely.
And what I love about hearing your journey in this is relating to mine. I don't know if you find this to be the case, but I get so lost, and Betsy, we get so lost in these tangents of, okay, what did that look like then? And what could possibly have been going on at the time? And the past becomes alive, like bringing ancestry to life, or whose ever ancestry.
I think postcards in particular at that time were a way of maintaining human connection. Many people didn't have access to telephones. And so you could jot a postcard, pop it in the mail. You could do it several times a week. I have a stack of correspondence from my great-grandmother who lived in Beloit and then corresponded with family in northern Wisconsin. And, they would send several postcards a week. And they were just short economic notes of keeping in touch.
Season 3. Betsy's postcard.
There you go.
We want to see them.
Happy to show you.
Awesome. That's a treasure. And little works of art.
Yes. And affordable. Mm-hmm. This was accessible to people of lower economic means.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 1-cent stamp. I've always wondered, and this is all about just the fact that we have a hard copy of these letters dating back from the late 1800s, going to about 1950 or 60. I wonder if there's a special stamp in there somewhere.
Like worth something
kind
of thing? I suppose. A rare stamp.
Well, I've got quite a few here, yeah.
You don't, you might have postcards, but you also might have something really special.
Yeah. And this one's just, I'll show you this. It's interesting. You talk about, how many words can you get on a postcard? Now, this person chose to write so very small.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very small. And on the front of it, look what she did. She wrote around the whole rim of it. She wrote more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This one it's called Sisters.
Ooh,
this postcard captured me.
I think of our moms, so that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So this postcard captured me. I looked up after reading the first sentence as if searching the room for the writer. I felt like I was intruding into this person's life, but longing to get to the end, hoping I would be enlightened and be able to breathe easy, knowing Alice was just being sarcastic. But to my disappointment, this was not so. It was a plea, a pouring out of one's soul from one sister to another. The front of the postcard was very muted. It portrayed a lush, grassy shoreline with a small town complete with 2 steeples off in the distance. Halfway pulled up on shore was a boat with a well-dressed woman posed, waiting as the gentleman secured the boat safely. It was captioned, "Two's a pair." The backside read, "Dear sister, I guess you have forgot you have a sister Alice in the face of the globe, but I will remind you of me. Now please write me and let me know whether you love your sister still, for she does you. I got a letter from Mama last week, and Grandma got a postcard today. She is well. Lulu had a postcard from Mary. I hope this finds you well and happy. Goodbye, with love, from Sister Alice. Write soon." On the front, around the border, ushering one last plea. "Lulu, you must write Mama a letter, for she looks for one from you every day. Alice, I am well. You must write and tell me how you are."
Oh, Lulu, please write your mother.
I know. It's just, yeah.
And when was this postmarked or sent? What era?
This one was in 1908.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I know now I had to have this postcard too. I was unsure of why, but confident in my desire. The pictures that flashed through my mind, so vivid but tragic. I reflected on my own mother's relationship with her twin sister who lives miles, states away. And that's Doug's mom.
Yep.
This was a hard scenario to envision between the two of them. They are twins, and that in itself holds something special, out of reach for the rest of us.
Beautiful.
It just really...
And so really true. You get those two together and no one could even... no one even existed other than the,
That's right.
the two of them. It was wonderful.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted to mention that when we first started this project, I walked into a room. I didn't know what I was doing. There were tables covered in letters and ephemera from someone else's life. And the first thing that I was able to really focus on was this story about Dick. And that was my first bit of work with you when we started, was investigating him and what happened with his life and what a wonderful, talented, gifted person he was. And that was the beginning. And that helped me set the stage for the rest, I guess.
You were hooked.
I was hooked, absolutely.
It's been such a pleasure doing this work with you, Betsy. It's work. It's not work.
No, it's not work. It's a departure. It's journey, therapy.
It's time travel.
It's absolute therapy.
I think that's the postcards. It's your time traveling and just bringing forward today. I just need to write more notes to people.
Yeah, I see that.
This is where it's coming for me. It's like, pick up your pen.
The message is it doesn't have to be eloquent. It just has to be written.
To see someone's handwriting and even to see what paper or what postcard or what stationery they chose to put their writing and their words and send them to you. Yeah.
You mentioned that we're going to put something in the notes. The photograph that I brought today of Dick, it's a portrait. And I have the invoice from the studio that it came from. And the font on this letterhead is...
Oh, wow.
The logo is really of its time and stunning. And I'm going to show it to you, Lori, and see if I can do it.
Okay. Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really neat.
Very 40s.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see what the date of this is. It's 48. So I think the photographs were taken. And what I know about what my grandmother did, so maybe similarly to what you did, Lori, in reaching out to all of Jessica's friends recently, is that at that time, my grandmother sent everybody a picture of Dick, this portrait.
Yeah.
So, and many of the condolence letters start with, "Thank you for this beautiful picture of Dick." So,
yeah. I remember doing that as well.
Yeah.
Sending a lot of photos. Yeah. Because you don't want them to be forgotten.
No.
That's you realize that they have passed, but you don't want them forgotten. And, you guys, thank you for letting me help to enrich your experience of bringing these letters to life. And in turn, bringing Dick to life today. Thank you for letting me be a part of that.
Oh, thank you. What a pleasure to meet you.
And thank you for sharing your story. There's a lot of similarity there. And I think all of us just need to celebrating that hard copy as you create it. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'm going to have a Lorna Doone next or if I'm going to have an orange cranberry shortbread, but I'm going to have some sort of cookie.
Yeah. Lori, can you get on that plane? I know you have access.
Well, we're fortunate enough that they're going to be coming our way soon.
Just very soon. Yeah.
We decided for me to come this way didn't make a lot of sense for right now. So
this worked great, though. Yeah. It's like you're right here. So
yeah.
And in our next episode, we hope to connect with a descendant of Fleur's sister. In other words, Anne's second cousin. There's our second genealogy lesson of the day.
That's right. Yeah. So I received an email out of the blue from someone who said, I'm the grandson of your grandmother's sister.
Yeah.
Marion. So, and I knew of Chris. His name is Chris. And he was Aunt Mimi's grandson. So Aunt Mimi was in the readings today. And so Chris has in his possession boxes, since his parents have passed, of stuff that his grandmother kept. And a lot of photographs, a lot of books. But I'm crossing my fingers, Betsy and I, fingers and toes, that there could be letters from Florence to Mimi that will have letters from my grandmother to her sister. I just hope so.
Well, I think the chances are better than not because you would think sisters might do similar things. Maybe she saved letters.
I have letters from Aunt Mimi that she wrote to Florence. So we shall see. But that was a nice little out of the blue, hi, I'm Aunt Mimi's.
You need to get on figuring out if that's the case or not.
What?
To have him see if there are any letters from Florence.
Well,
that's our next episode.
I've told him.
It's coming up.
I told him I waited with bated breath.
Okay.
I think he's been digging out of 13 inches of snow on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, with that, we look forward to the next episode, but really appreciate this one. And I'm honored to be here with all three of you.
Yeah, we continue to find that. As I said, it's a tender moment today. And thank you for sharing it with me.
Thank you so much. This has been really very meaningful. And it's so interesting how everything connects.
It does.
Everything connects. Yeah. Earlier when Anne asked what led me to send the notes to the girls, I just am reading where I wrote, I really feel Jess kept the notes for a reason, and it was to fulfill getting them back to you girls. She guided the timing, and I've been thankful to have the strength and insight to complete their journey home. So I guess I felt like I wanted them to go home to those girls so that they could share that piece of themselves at that young age of self-discovery with their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori, that's I'm sorry.
Another full circle.
Yes.
Full circle
moment.
And something that I struggle with, because I believe these letters are all collected for a reason. My grandmother stuffed this armoire for a reason, and I have them. I don't know what to do with them. I mean, literally they are in an office that we're renting just for the letters. And I don't know, I can't do that, into perpetuity. But what do you do with this collection that isn't of interest to anybody else, but it's a whole life?
Now, John Gerda thought that they should go to a local historical society. I mean, maybe Titusville.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot, but you could scan them for your own keeping and give them the originals eventually.
We could.
I know. I'm getting a lot of strange looks here, but
we like the bundles with the ribbons and the bows.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, it could be in your estate
Who
disposition.
Who knows?
So, and you don't want to talk.
All right. A bonfire.
No. Look at what they sparked. I mean, they created a new hobby for me.
Their own
bonfire. We have your passions.
We have all the studio equipment.
We have all the studio equipment. We'd have nothing to do if we didn't have this.
All right, we'll keep going.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you so much, Lori.
You guys.
All right, This was fun.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Meet Me at the Wall is hosted by Doug Martinet, Ann Goodwin, and Betsy Schmeeken. Music is written and performed by Alex Vance. This podcast is copyright by Pleasurable Pause Press. Thank you for listening, and we hope you tune in again next time.